Hi guys, this is your girl Wakeji Kamore and welcome to Reflections by Wakeji Kamore. Yay! Thank you so much for tuning in and for following through with this Bible summary. I hope that you're having a good morning, a good Saturday, a good day, a good evening, depending on the time that you get to listen to this. I invite you to listen and to share this podcast with your friends and with your family. So today I'll be doing a summary of Numbers chapter 7. And this chapter is one of the longest chapters there is in this book. All the other chapters have like maybe 39 verses, 27 verses, but this one has 89 verses. And I will tell you why. So please stick through to the end. So let's get into it. So this chapter starts off with Moses setting up the tabernacle and anointing and consecrating it with all the furnishings and all the utensils. It then continues to say that the 12 tribes of Israel, you remember, a leader from each tribe of Israel, they all brought gifts to Moses to help in transporting of the tent of the meeting while they headed out from camp to travel to the promised land. So they gave 6 wagons and 12 oxen. So there were 12 leaders and they gave 6 wagons. It means 2 leaders gave 1 wagon. 2 leaders gave 1 wagon. Sounds like a contribution for baby shower. So a wagon for every 2 chiefs or 2 leaders, and each of the leaders gave an ox. So that's how they became 12 oxen. So Moses took the wagons and the oxen and gave them to the clans of the Levites, who were tasked with carrying different things from the tabernacle. So he gave 2 wagons and 4 oxen to the clan of Gershon, who had been instructed to carry all the skins that covered the tabernacle itself. And then he gave 4 wagons and 8 oxen to the Merari clan, who were instructed to carry the structures of the tabernacle, including the pillars, the boards, and so on and so forth. If you guys look at that distribution, the Gershon get 2 wagons, and the Merari get 4 wagons, because then they are carrying heavy stuff, like they are carrying pillars and boards and the things that make up the tent. And the Gershon clan are getting 2 wagons because they are carrying the skins, or rather the coverings that had made up the tent. Like, let's say the tent material itself. But the Kohathan tribe, he gave none. He didn't give them oxen. He didn't give them wagons. Why? Because they were charged with the service of the holy things that had to be carried on their shoulders. Those ones didn't need anything, because then their instruction was to carry those holy things, the lamps, everything that was actually at the altar, to carry it with their own shoulders. The 12 tribe leaders also made offerings to the Lord. And here were the things to note about these offerings. So further than the things that they gave, the wagons and the oxen, the 12 leaders made extra offerings to the Lord. And here were the things to note about them. So this chapter, actually, if you look at most commentaries, it's called the 12 days of offering. And you'll understand why. So, all right, let's get into the offerings. So each tribe was to present its offering on a separate date. This means it took 12 days, and this is why it's called the 12 days of offerings. The offering was to be given in the same order that was used when leaving camp, starting with the leader of Judah tribe, the leader of Issachar, Zebulun, Reuben, Simeon, Gad, Ephraim, Manasseh, Benjamin, Dan, Asher, and Naphtali. Like same order that God had given for when it was time to leave camp. God has said we will start with the tribe of Judah, and then we will follow that. Like that. That's how that's exactly how the offerings were given as well. All right. The third thing to note: all the tribe leaders give the exact same offering. None of them gave more, and none gave less. All of them gave 1 silver plate weighing 13 shekel, 1 silver bowl weighing 70 shekel, and both of those plate and bowl were full of fine flour mixed with oil. And then there was 1 golden dish weighing 10 shekels that was full of incense. There was 1 bull, 1 ram, 1 male lamb that was a year old, 1 male goat, 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 male goats, and 5 male lambs a year old. So the things that I have read above, that is exactly the same sacrifice that was given by every tribe. So at the end of it, we had 12 of each of these things that I have read. So if it was 5 male goats, that means 12 times 5. So we had 60 male goats. And the last verse of this chapter says, and I'll just read it. This is verse 89. It says, "And when Moses went into the tent of meeting to speak with the Lord, he heard the voice speaking to him from above, and from above the mercy seat that was on the ark of the testimony, between the 2 cherubim, and it spoke to him." I think this is the specific. I mean, since the lightning that we were seeing in Exodus, this is the next time we are seeing God actually speaking, like God making it clear, or rather the Bible making it clear that there was a voice of God speaking. And this is what was important for the people of Israel, to hear that God actually spoke to their leader. This was an assurance to the people that every instruction that Moses had given, and Moses will continue to give, came directly from God. Anyway, here's my takeout from the chapter. And now let's get to why the chapter is the longest. And I told you guys I will tell you why the chapter is the longest. This is because there's a lot of repetition in this chapter. Every offering, remember the things that I have read above, they're written about 12 times. 1 silver plate, 1 silver bowl, Evo. Like they're written 12 times because every tribe gave these items, and every offering from each of the 12 tribes is recorded separately, which is something I found very, very repetitive, since they all gave the same exact offering. But, nothing in the Bible happens just like that without a reason. So the repetition of the offering by each tribe was an emphasis, was an emphasis that each tribe had an equal stake in the worshipping of God. God would have chosen to just say, you know what, let's just heap up everything and record everything together. After all, they're all giving the same thing, so let's just do that. But the repetition of the offering by each tribe was to emphasize that each tribe had an equal stake in the worshipping of God. And having received the Lord's blessings as they had, and the Lord's people took the response, or chose to respond, by bringing their offerings and their gifts to the Lord. You see, this repetition of the 12th offering reminded me of the song that is called "My Worship" by Philip Thompson. I'll try and send you the link, guys, of that song. But I can also try and sing it. So let's see whether I can sing at least the first verse. And this is how it sings. Guys, please do not listen to the voice, listen to the words. All right. So it sings, "You, Lord, you are worthy, and no one can worship you for me. For all the things you've done for me, and no one can worship you for me." That's just the first verse, and I'll send you the rest of the song. But it reminds me of this song because God would have chosen to have all the offerings added together and recorded together. But he had every offering and every tribe recorded separately, even if they were all giving the same exact things. This is to show that each one of us, you and I, worship God individually. It is not a collective unit. It's not a collective role. And no one can worship God for you. The role to worship God is an individual role, and no one can worship God for you. Thank you so much for listening. This is your girl, Wakeji Kamore, and this has been Reflections by Wakeji Kamore.